All right, Mayor Beasy,
Here.
Councilmember Seifert,
Here.
Councilmember Kohler,
Present.
and we need Andy.
Yeah, he should be on.
Councilmember Van Hees,
Andy, you're muted.
Councilmember Van Hees,
I am here.
Wonderful.
Councilmember Sander,
Present.
Councilmember Stravens,
Present. Oh.
Very nice.
you.
All right, well, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Scarlett, would you please start us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we get an approval of the meeting agenda as is or propose any amendments?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
Perfect.
I'll second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right. So we have a local agency report or presentation. This is our Congressional Gold Medal recipient, Scarlett Kinville. Please come up to the podium. I think we're queuing up a couple pictures. If you could just share with us your recent activities.
I'm Scarlett. I received the United States Congressional Gold Medal Award. I brought it with me.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Got a fancy little box for it. So the United States Congressional Award is a youth honorship program where at the highest level, which is what I went straight to, the gold medal, I completed 400 hours of voluntary service, 200 hours of personal development, 200 hours of physical fitness, and then I led a 5-day, 4-night trip in Portland, Oregon with some of the other youth that I live with. And then I got to go to Washington, D.C., meet our Congress, and participate in a bunch of fun workshops.
Beautiful. Did you have any questions or discussion for Scarlett?
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a lot of volunteering.
That is a lot of public service, and she did that all in 2 years. So 400 hours all in 2 years. All those.
I actually got almost 500 hours because I completed it all in about a year. So I had to keep going. I did the minimum I had to for the remaining time.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you coming here and sharing this with us. Scarlett, I wanted to share this with you. You are the very first recipient of my newly created award, which is Keeping the Spirit Alive. So you get a little pin, and I'm giving you a second pin so you can give it to somebody who you think keeps the spirit alive as well. So thank you for keeping the flames, but we're going to call it spirit now in light of recent events. The spirit of leadership, service, and love alive for our community. I absolutely, just an honor to have you amongst us.
Thank you so much.
Yes, wonderful. All right. So discussion item, I'm going to go ahead and punt just a little framing of the moratorium update to Brian so that he can kind of frame the process we're about to embark on.
Okay, thank you. So last month, council adopted a resolution imposing a 6-month moratorium subject to extension. As you know, at the time of the moratorium adoption, definitely an issue of public interest. You can see that in the media and other jurisdictions handling it. I would suspect it remains an interest, a level of high interest of the community as well in Millwood. Keep in mind that while we're not necessarily adjudicating individual rights, we are proceeding down a path that could have significant impact on individual property owners and their rights. So I just want to remind everybody of the need to remain objective, unbiased, preferably to while you're an elected official, You also need to make sure that you maintain some of those third-party conversations at a minimum. So there's at least an appearance that we're proceeding down this path objectively. Matter was briefly introduced to the Planning Commission. I'll have a conversation or discussion with them as well. But however this path goes in terms of how the city handles it, we need to make sure that those involved in the process have not made statements or done anything that otherwise indicates a prejudgment on the matter. And so that's kind of just and you know, in the Planning Commission, I think Kelly could probably recite it verbatim. There's an appearance of fairness protocol that the Planning Commission typically has gone through historically. But you know, this is an issue that's out there in the public, and we want to make sure that we process in the most objectively received manner as possible.
And then as we go into the hearing, this will all be addressed by a presentation from Amanda. But basically, as I understand, what's before them is to decide on, do you want to be the working body that sifts through the moratorium work plan? Or we're not deciding that today or even embarking on a conversation today? Or do you want to defer this back to the Planning Commission, which has been the historic practice, and then having them bring back, let them do all the research, let them come to you with recommendations, but ultimately you would be the ones that vote on it, regardless of how it gets there.
Yeah, that's your work plan adoption.
And Amanda's wasn't unable to be here today, but she will definitely be at the hearing, and she has a presentation for you.
So are we adopting the work plan at the special meeting?
Well, I think that's probably gonna be the first instance. Yeah, Amanda.
First touch.
Yeah, the process, I would encourage the city to move forward as expeditiously as possible on a work plan, just because there's gonna be some work that's gonna be involved. One of the areas where a moratorium can be questioned is if there's a lack of effort by the agency to develop the work plan and proceed accordingly. So I think Amanda's really the right person to present on the details on that. She just had she is not physically in town for 2 weeks, I believe, so.
People deserve vacations.
Yeah, couldn't be here tonight, but I think that's, you know, the work plan options really are kind of, there's gonna have to be some sort of fact-finding expedition in this process. Whether it goes to the Planning Commission, whether the council maintains it, or whether you do a hybrid. I would encourage the mayor as well. There's definitely, you wanna make sure this is a public process too.
Yeah.
Right? So there's gonna be opportunity for public comments, public input.
And that will be at the hearing as well, so at the hearing, people can have public comments however they want, there's not even on the, that's on that topic. And so, as far as, how much public comments will we need follow-up embedded to the work plan, I would say be driven by the interest of the public. So, I think it's gonna be a conversation and presentation, and I would consider this like first touch, but then at a meeting soon following, whether it be a routine scheduled meeting or whether it be a special meeting, we will have to adopt it, something
I think the September regular meeting is probably about
sufficient.
10 days after that public hearing, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere around there.
It's about 3, because it's on the 25th and then the next meeting's September 14th. But anyways, I think that would be sufficient, but
I think as you prepare for going forward, if there's additional information that the council needs in terms of its process for the public hearing, I'd say let's make sure that you let the mayor or Amanda know, that it's a new topic, that's why it's under a moratorium, because it's not currently addressed in your code. So the more information that those involved have, the better informed you are, the better off we are.
thank you, Brian. Any questions? Yes.
I will not be present at the meeting, but I can call in from the highway someplace. I'll be in Yakima.
Would you be able to consume the meeting either in real time or even delayed? Because it's my understanding, if I'm understanding the meetings that preceded this and then this meeting, I don't perceive there's going to be an action at that meeting, but rather the information that you will need to be making an action in the next 2 to 3 weeks will be presented at
So I
that
can
meeting.
certainly listen in.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Sander. Anyone else? Perfect. Moving on to the next item, this is public comments, but concerning any action items for this meeting. And we don't have any we do have action items actually for consideration down by the consent agenda. Is there any public comments for action items up to this meeting?
I have some public comments, but I don't know, they don't pertain to this particular meeting.
Okay, we'll have public remarks then at the end of the meeting, and we will know to cue you up, good sir.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So, any other ones for public comments of action items? Going once, going twice. Do we, I do not perceive a need for an executive session. Do you confirm with that, Brian? Wonderful. Action items for first reading, everything that we're gonna talk about, I'm hoping that we'll take action on today. One, because it was presented at the last time, so it's actually the second time. And then the one that is gonna be presented today, for first is, has to be addressed today. So, action items for consideration on the consent agenda. We have the joint city council planning commission special meeting minutes. We have our normal city council regular meeting minutes. We have the dashboard of the treasurer dashboard for July 2026 and the check register for 2026, and then the treasurer's dashboard or the treasurer's report for July of 2026. Do you want to take any of these items separately? If not, can we get a motion to take action?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the joint city council planning commission special meeting minutes, et cetera, with, of course,
Scrivener
Scrivener
changes.
changes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I second.
And as a point of learning and process improvement, we will be having special meetings with our good council member Tina Seifert prior to packets being sent to you in future months. So,
It's embarrassing.
as you know, it's a volunteer job. Alrighty. All in favor, or do you have any discussion around consent agenda? All in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? So moved. Wonderful. Moving on to the budget amendment. I will give a framing of the budget amendment that is before you. And then both Aaron and I are available for any detailed follow-up questions. So, as you will notice on the budget amendment for the appendix, this is one, the appendix is one of the top items for me. I'm choosing to not ask for anything that's not already been, so the dollar amount's already been approved. I'm not asking for one more dollar. I will stay within the budget, but I am asking that you will approve new titles so that I can move forward with my staffing plan. So, and those are the positions that we talked about. And then the addition of, we didn't talk about it this last time, and we would not hire all of these. We would work within the current approved budget. But the operations manager, and that would be if we did not do an administrator due to lack of a candidate pool or something like that, we would split the clerk's position into two positions, and an operations manager would absorb some of the non-clerk duties because right now it's too much for one person. So we either need to get an administrator that would inform us or have two operations managers, one of our operations managers also being a clerk. So that's within the same budget range. And so that is one item that I'm hoping that is to be addressed. Then we have the changes. Aaron and I, in preparation for the 2027 budget, and then also for the budget amendments of this budget, have been going over, and we're gonna ask for the very minimal changes that I will spotlight. So first of all, on the revenue side, we need to get the $200,000 for the wholesaling agreement. We don't even have out of there because right now we're being held for $200,000 that we are not, there's no hope for. There's also some minor changes, and Aaron, if you could correct me, I think it's less than $100,000 together, but if you look at our current run rate as far as the tax that we think that we'll be able to collect on two different tax items, one of them being marijuana, the other being something else, is gonna come in at, it looks like on here, $60,000 under. That's just the run rate. We have no control over that.
What page are we on?
Did you bring these, Aaron?
Yes.
No, I should probably hand these out. No, it's okay. Thank you.
Give me on this, I have them all set up here.
Thank you, sir.
You can put a couple on the back, Aaron, for audience if they want to follow along with us. So anyway, $60,000 of marijuana and then, it's investment earnings. The run rate shows that we'll have a $60,000 revenue shortfall. The biggest revenue shortfall, the biggest collectively, are two grants that I'm not under 100% sure why we even, budgeted that we would get revenue. One is just the PUG grant. There was a $38,000 shortfall that was driven by the state. One was that we anticipated getting a $1.15 million grant for a Dalton project that we never applied for the grant. So we did not get that grant. So that's a revenue shortfall as well. So that's on the revenue side. On the expense side, we're actually within the budget for all but 3 items, and I'm gonna spotlight those items right now. One of them is the Argonne project did come in near $700,000 over budget. We paid $700,000 more than it was budgeted for. Largely because of the railroad and some billing that they did, but honestly because of some other stuff. So that was one of them. The other is no one budgeted for us to do an SAO audit. I think that's a short sight because we knew we were gonna get an SAO audit. So as you can see on a different item, even if you don't approve that today as part of the budget amendment, you will need to approve it as a separate item. I got special permission from the state because it was above my signature authority for them to do the entrance. But this is a mandatory item. This is really not debatable. And then the other thing that I would have thought that would have been budgeted that will be a shortfall is we will be obligated to do, whether it's a comprehensive rate study or some kind of rate study, there will be some cost attached to us figuring out how to charge for our water. And as you can see in our engagement, our SAO engagement, utilities will be an item that is under deep review. And every utilities company is obligated to break even. So we need to have some intelligence around that, how we settle on those rates. So those are the only things I'm asking. Like I said, I backed off on any extra I'll work within the budget in light of these realities, because as you know, I'm a big balanced budget person. But I will work within the realities for the staffing. So in regards to the staffing, I'm asking you to approve some titles so I can change our staffing model, and I'm doing that in tandem with my team, which is Aaron and Bridget. So I mean, we're collectively deciding how we want to order our administration.
So is this part of the budget amendment?
That is the detail to explain it.
That's-
And that's the other thing. How did we not know that some of these items were on the budget? Because certainly I could not believe the SAO was not. We approve a budget on a fund level, and that's per the state. And I would not argue that we do anything differently than that because but sometimes that means that the council does not have the line items understanding of what underpins that, and we have historically treated that as projects. And this is one of the things that me and Aaron have been dissecting, like how does the count, well, because we approve projects, you know what I'm saying? I think all of us had a finger on the pulse of what we thought the Argonne project, we didn't know how it was unfolding operationally, but we understood what we thought it was gonna cost, and it costed something different, and we didn't have those updates. You will be absolutely getting all those updates for phase 2. We will know every single dime that gets spent on phase 2. So go ahead.
So, but we've approved change orders, we approved the contract, but what we're missing was the linking that to the actual budget.
Linking that to the actual budget, then it was also complicated by the fact, I will admit this was a complex project, so this kind of doesn't, there would have been messiness no matter how it was, because it crossed over from one year to another year. Not all the change orders were actually approved. And the railroad can really charge whatever they, that was something that was just not accounted for.
And we had no approval.
So like if that happened to me, I'm not gonna have that for phase 2, but that's partially because the railroad is not even involved. My plan, and as you can see evidence of that, I think the new way forward is that sometimes, you know, we sign change orders in the in-between, and it's within the mayor's, you know, if it's in that dollar, and that needs to happen. I mean, as you can see, if you guys had put it at 25,000, we would have been gridlocked on that one too. I mean, there's gotta be some latitude to function if we're only gonna meet once a month. But what I've done is then I embedded in, and you now have information about it, and you will get that every single month. You also know what we're doing revenue side. So part of it would have gotten out of budget because of the railroad, but we weren't being told that when it was happening, so then it became a shock. And honestly, as we came on board, and me and Aaron and other previous predecessors of the accounting world, it took us a few months to get into the details of some of these things. So all I can say is it will be different 27. But that's a variance that there's really no way for us to fix or overcome, like by operational efficiencies, because you can see across the board, we're actually under budget on anything that the people in this room have spent.
So there was no TIB money available for the railroad crossing for UP?
That's correct. We got the grants we got, and you know, you can't ask for it after the fact. And part of it is maybe, I don't know if there would have been an opportunity, but we waited until February in Lynn to even start processing some of the reimbursements. Do you know what I'm saying? So there was just, you can't go then and ask TIB, hey, I know we spent this like 8 years or 6 months ago, can you give us money for it? Cause they were already gonna try and fund this phase 2 project.
Yeah, I don't know what the stipulations are on timing, but it seems like I don't know, maybe we should ask Welch to see if we could have applied for more money, but I don't know.
I think it's easy to second guess things. I think that this is the reality of what it was. And I think honestly, TIB, I'm not gonna criticize them or Welsh Comer for anything, because right now we're getting a 1.5, almost near $1.6 million of updates for $115,000, and yes, it will probably come in at closer to, you know, it's not gonna come in at 115, but you will know what is the change, and I can't imagine it's gonna come in at more than 150, so I really have a hard time criticizing our funders for everything that they have more than gone above and beyond for on every step that I've encountered them.
Also, as we were going through last year's project, we had this ceiling that we thought that Union Pacific gave us, and they went whatever it was, I don't know exact numbers, but it was like 300 or whatever thousand over that. When they were telling us all along, and I got email documentation to prove it, they're like, oh yeah, we're looking good on the budget and we're gonna come in under budget, and then it hit the ceiling and it went over the ceiling, and we're just like, when does the bleeding stop here, guys?
When does the bleeding stop? And then now we're like 6 months into we just closed out that project, so we're months into ours and we've already gotten secured phase 2 funding, you know, so at some point we just gotta, that's history. I promise you it will be different from here forward. You will know literally every dollar change on any road instruction between going forward, but
It'd be good for you to know that.
700, and we do, that's the, I feel like, I think we've never been more transparent in our understanding of our finances than the operation that Aaron and I are working on. And so I really believe 2027 will be different. But nonetheless, it's impossible for me to overcome that in spending. So those are the minor actions. In light of that, like I said, I've completely backed off on asking you for any more staffing money. I'm literally asking you to make the changes that we know we will not get revenue for. No one's applied for a Dalton grant for $1.1 million, so we're never gonna get that money. We gotta get it off our books. We're not gonna get $200,000 for a wholesaling that we never had a contract for. And the taxes are $60,000 off. Meanwhile, we have these other expenses that we have to have. We have to spend $51,000 on an SAO. We should budget $50,000, and I will tell you, I think if I'm able to hire my hiring plan, I'm hoping that I will even be able to drive that down, because we'll be able to do some of our own stuff in regards to data collection, but we need to budget for that, because in January, we will be obligated to accept new funding thing. And is there a third item?
So Kyle, what was the original budget for the Union Pacific outlay to get that done?
without having the numbers in front of me, I thought it was not supposed to go over like 900,000.
980,000 was what we were budgeted.
For just the UP part,
Just the railroad
they
stuff.
billed us 1.7-ish,
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but
or
yeah.
whatever the match did not cover,
Yeah,
700 over.
and basically what we got told was they are gonna charge us whatever they wanna charge us, and
Can I ask Aaron for clarification on that?
Yeah,
The whole thing was 980,000, not,
the WashDOT grant plan said 989,000 and change for UP expenses. And I would need to double check, but it was like 1.5 or 1.6 that they billed us.
Okay.
You know,
I'm just wondering what the ballpark
Yeah, it
total
was,
number was.
yeah, it was like $600,000 or $700,000 over.
and then we were 200 over
what
just on other
the
stuff.
grant plan indicated, so.
But as you can see, the net impact, I honestly think it's a credit to the people in this room that in light of all that variance that I just told you about, we're still only on pace to be off by 444,000 at the end, if including everything that we've talked about. So we have done operational efficiencies that have made up for some of that.
So our 2026 year budget numbers are not changing on the first sheet of that ordinance?
They are,
On the ordinance itself, that is updated numbers.
Cause I didn't get a markup version of that, so I have no idea what the previous numbers were.
yeah, I had them highlighted in
So on the handout, on the first page that I handed you, the top table is gonna be the original budget. The middle table is the changes to the original budget.
Oh,
And the bottom should be what is reflected on the ordinance to be passed.
So the difference is 600,000, 662, 196.
That would be the total decrease in revenues, yes.
That's just for revenues. And then the expenses, so the net is around $444,000.
so my question is on the enterprise funds, it shows the drop in revenue of 200,000. But doesn't show any expenditures for your data specialist.
Yeah, cause I just told you I was gonna, and here's the thing. It's a municipal data specialist because they are doing with Springbrook, but this is one of the things I really have struck. I think that it's very evident I wanna be trust and transparency. We've given you guys all the information, but operations is our purview. And how we're determining how things are coded, you guys decide the dollar amount. We actually decide how to operationalize that and then make sure that we stay compliant. So I don't wanna waste a lot of conversation about like, well, I think you should be budgeting, you know, these like minuscule things, cause you guys aren't here every day.
I know that, but if this person is gonna be working on the water data, that gets billed.
They're gonna actually work on Springbrook, which is a platform we spend $30,000 on every year, whether it works or not, and it's not working. It's not working for Bridget, it's not working for him. So the very first thing that they're gonna do is they're going to interrogate that system and this is gonna cut across everything. It's our enterprise resource platform, so it's not just a utilities thing, it's just a administrative function. And we're gonna decide whether this is the ERP that we continue to use or if we're gonna start doing a new. And if we do that, and we've also talked to the SAO and they say that we're compliant, I don't really wanna waste a lot of conversation about, you know, what you think, like the decision, because we're following up on all those things.
I think what this kind of follows up on the conversation at the last meeting though, in terms of the BARS manual contemplates.
Time spent
The
on
budget.
the enterprise funds has to go against the enterprise fund
That
budget.
But we will be doing that.
The
The first 90 days, our enterprise resource platform for every operation that we do in our city goes through Springbrook. It just does. So that does not need to be coded towards utilities if we are fixing the high level enterprise fund. And then by 2027, we will absolutely be bringing forth what that position would look like as allocated to the portions that will be for utilities. But the first 90 days are gonna be deciding, is this our ERP or not?
I have serious concerns that that person will be allocated to the enterprise fund by the auditor. whether you code it that way or not, because they're doing enterprise fund work to the tune of up to $112,000 a year.
Up to what?
$112,000 a year.
Well, I guarantee you it won't be 112, that's what it says, but
That's what the salary schedule is.
these are the outer parameters of what we need to do for me to be able to navigate. I've already told you we will work within our current budget. I don't know, Sean, then you show me how we're gonna do it. We have a significant data problem. I understand you don't like my position that I'm trying to get through, and you wanna make a stand on this.
I don't wanna raise people's water bills.
Well, then I guess what I would have done is we should have taken oversight of the previous mayor a lot more seriously, because we've known for months and years that we've been kicking the can down the road. I'm trying to fix the problem now. We've never been broke even, unacceptable. That will be something that comes out at the SAO. We've never been broke even with our system. I don't know how you want to get there. And I wanna know, where was this oversight for the $75,000 that we spent last year on a contract that none of us were part of, and we have no idea where that $75,000 went? I'm trying to fix the problem. We cannot even start to fix the problem until we fix the enterprise resource. We either need to have a billing system that works, and honestly, it's not just the billing, it's our incomplete Springbrook. Every function of our city is tied to Springbrook.
And Springbrook is the only vendor that the state.
Well, that's what people say, and if that's true, then my guess is some of these things I'm told can't be done in Springbrook have to be able to be done in Springbrook. We just don't know how to do it. And by that, I'm not saying we don't. It's not us that doesn't know. Even the Springbrook representatives you're allotted to talk to don't know, because we're talking about basic things. Hey, we want to get something on a rolling 12-month. Oh, can't do that. Well, either we can't do that. I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe people design systems like this that can only read text data. This defies like every logic of every data thing I've ever heard of. So either it is that substance, in which case there's gotta be an alternative for us to get into.
No, it's my recollection that Springbrook replaced BAR's system.
Springbrook is the platform they say has an integration with BAR's regulations. And BAR's is the regulations that we have to follow as a municipality of Washington State.
But didn't BAR's have a different
Exactly.
Bias was the former.
biases before? Yes.
So that's my thing, is we need to suss out, this is a $30,000 a year thing that we're paying, and it's giving very substandard, like extraordinarily suboptimal performance. And so we either need to decide, is this what we're gonna go through, and then in which case we need somebody that's on site that will be able to interrogate those systems and fix it across everything, not just utilities, across all functions of the city, or we need to go to a different system.
Another recollection, last month you've talked to some other utilities. Was Spokane Water District 3 one of those?
No,
They have a person that used to be a biased person.
but I honestly, when we all started talking about, because I do think Sean brought up a good point, really the first night, for the remainder of this year,
I understand.
it's not gonna be a utilities thing. So honestly, once we desegregated that, I desegregated
I
it
didn't
as a
mean to be
utility.
that, but.
No, but I desegregated
Experience
as a,
with that programs,
yeah, and when we
regardless of
get
what we're
to
doing
where
with it.
we're tackling just billing,
yes.
I will 100% avail all those things. I'm convinced at this point, do we use this system or do we use a different system? And if we do use this system, then someone's got to be able to be free to interrogate it. Now, again, the operations, the person that I'm probably gonna hire doesn't even want a full-time job. And that's the other thing too. Even the administrator, we have these talks about administrators, and then you guys have had some really good feedback. But then if you don't free me up to actually, it's kind of like how Kevin was like, hey, either you let me negotiate the contract or not. Because these people that are in these high demand things, could I convince someone this month to maybe come in at a 0.6 FTE and help us clean some stuff up for 18 months? Yeah, but that kind of person is in demand. They're not gonna be around next month or the month after and stuff. So I think that the lack of I do understand what you're saying. I do not believe it will be coded that way until 2027 because the mission before us is to decide which ERP that we even use. Then if it does look like we're gonna continue with Springbrook and we're gonna get into the utilities module, then yeah, that will show up on the 2027 budget. But we're in constant contact all the time with SAO. Trust you me, there's nobody more than this side of the table that wants to keep us on the good side of the SAO. And we proactively ask questions all the time to make sure that we're not on the wrong side of, that we didn't create something that results in a management letter.
It just seems like Springbrook is broken.
It is.
And we're not the only ones that are struggling with this. Because if that's the go-to that they prefer.
And I would say, I'm gonna argue that we have to kind of start thinking about our water system that way too. We have had presentations shown to us. We're just kicking the can down the road. At some point, the escalation of the environment that's about to be imposed on us, it's gonna go up, skyrocket anyways. At some point, you've gotta have some small investment on the actual basic stuff that allows us to function. It's a liability, honestly, for us to have the utilities platform that we have right now that we don't, and creating bills every month off of. If we don't fully understand it, that's a liability as well.
So we're not increasing the budget for that particular position.
No, yes, salaries and benefits will come in, I promise you, under budget.
So
What Councilmember Sean Kohler is saying is, well, I'm concerned about how you're gonna have to code that. But we've had that discussion and I don't believe that we will have to code it one way. But I also would like you to hear at some point you have to trust that I was elected to do the right thing and that I'm not gonna get, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's,
So after hearing this, Sean, are you more comfortable?
I'm just wondering what data we're looking for. From the system side.
it's not even about what data are we looking for. There is some data that we're looking for. We're not convinced that the integrity of the data that is going through is of good integrity. We're not trusting the system is set up the way that it's supposed to be set up.
So is it on the usage side, is it on?
Oh, and I will say this, just if you guys do, cause what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna have a big public meeting. If you wanna schedule an appointment and get with me on the details, totally happy to. But as a pulse check, because I did start questioning, am I wrong? Am I fixating onto something that is truly not? I did have a meeting with our old mayor. And he said that he was gonna do the same exact thing. This is just a problem and you're just gonna have to trust us. And if you wanna have a one-off meeting, you can have a one-off meeting. And I know what you're doing. You wanna be able to say like, I made him, balance the water budget. But if you really wanted to be able to make that claim, then you should have acted differently 5 years ago and 4 years ago and 3 years ago and 2 years ago and 1 year ago. We're in the situation we're in and the only way out is good intel. The only way out is good integrity data and the systems that can communicate to each other. That's the only way out.
Would like to know what data is bad. Is it our meters? Is it the consumption numbers? Is it what we're charging? Are we not billing correctly? What is it?
It's been a few things. It's been multiple things, different months.
Can you give an example?
I think you should have us, I talk to you about this every month in finance committee. Are you just trying to,
This is a first read on this budget.
yes, but we've shared with you when the utility bills have been wrong before in finance committee. I don't know that you want to go on public record and reveal literally every fragility of your city on public record.
Well, it was stated that we don't know what water cost to pump last month.
Yeah, well, that's because we don't have our energy data,
Which is what?
our Vista bill.
We
Which
don't have
drives-
our Vista bills?
We do not have any historical data, and I know at one point they were doing a project that Kenzie, which all these are dependent, these people are busy, but I know at one point they were having to pull all these historic paper Avista bills and then have Kenzie like manually enter. All this is like a data person would be like, that's ridiculous. What you do is you decide what metric you need. You go to Avista, say, I need all the 10 years historical data. It would cost at cost that it takes to get it. And then you would have it on an actual machine readable file. Something that you then can, this manual inputting is antiquated and it has created a situation that is not reliable.
So it seemed to me, so Sean, we're talking about a budget amendment. We're getting into specifics.
Exactly, because really, I think you guys have crossed the Rubicon about what is operational and what's not. I've already stated, and you guys control the purse, I will stay under, I'm asking for permission to do these titles to fix what is broken with the city. And I've been shown to be reasonable. I think that these conversations around data are gonna age like fine wine for me. I think 10 years from now,
Right. I think that that's a separate conversation.
and I invite anyone at any time, and I think every single one of you know this is absolutely the fact. I would spend 5 hours describing the details, but I'm not going to, as a matter of public record, air every fragility of our city.
Right, and I think that makes sense. And so, what do you think, Sean? I mean, in terms of a council, we approved the budget, but we don't get into specifics with the budget. So it seems to me,
I mean, you can get in specifics about the things that you're actually changing the
Yeah.
number on, but you
but
don't,
we're not
you're
changing.
supposed to tell me how,
I mean, we can approve the budget. I would like a second read on it before approving it because I've just seen this tonight. That's my concern.
Sure.
And I wasn't airing weaknesses in our data system. I didn't say we don't know what water costs to pump.
so can we but approve this position? Cause this was all new information. This has not changed.
It all goes together.
No, it doesn't. Not if you don't, not if you think you're trying, I feel like, again, I think this age is like fine wine. I really do. 10 years from now, this is 2 months now that I have somebody that we could hire. You wait it out, this person will not be able to be hired. I find this to be completely,
It's operational.
it's absolutely operational.
I think we need to understand from a council, I think that as a governing body, we need to trust the mayor and staff that they have the best interest of the city. One of the things that we haven't had in the past, it seems to me, is good data, right?
100%.
So I think to move forward, this is, I think simply speaking, this is a budget amendment. If we look at it on its face, do you really need to go through it one more time, Sean?
No,
Because
I would just like this to be out in the public for 1 month. Part of the two-touch system would be
Well, we
that,
did present the topics that we're talking about.
but we didn't present the table of the budget.
And
How can people comment if this is presented tonight to us in person?
we have a two-touch system.
And I did present this. I put out a memo with details.
Oh, so it is actually, so it would be a second, Sean, right?
I didn't see this until tonight. I get what you're saying. This was brought up last meeting for the positions, but the budget amendment was
Yeah,
not brought forward.
I need permission to be able to hire to these positions. The staff is understaffed. I have talked about this since January, about us looking at the staffing model and being able to hire to the staffing model. I've been excruciatingly transparent to you all and to the county and to the citizens about the different models that we've explored. I think Aaron and Bridget would both attest that I have included them in all the decision making as well. We're already gonna come in under budget. You are, I mean, if, and I honestly,
Man, so it seems to me, Sean, do you have specific,
I kind of wish we could just take a vote. Why are we allowing Sean with his dissent?
well, because I like to hear everything, so just, it's my practice. So, is there anything specifically with ordinance 560 on its face, Sean, you have an issue with? Because it looks pretty clear to me.
I mean, it's just, we're approving a budget and we're gonna finish 200 more thousand in the hole on the water budget, the enterprise funds. And that's not counting the possible coding against that funds.
But, so I think the coding issue, it seems like to me that's a separate. I've been, I don't know, serving for how many years? We haven't talked about coding issues before. Is it? I might be missing something, Sean, with the coding issues.
At least
because
part of the time of this new hire is going to go against the enterprise fund.
Not in this year.
But will
I
it,
don't see how they can do data analysis and not code that time to the enterprise fund.
I would agree with Kelly. You have never expressed anything. This is absolutely, you've never asked this from any prior mayor.
When there's a $300 swing on the water budget, I'm a little more interested.
There wasn't a $300 swing. There's a $300 swing not from our baseline. There's a $300 swing from an approved budget that we all approved without asking details. $200,000 were attached to something that's a unicorn. It doesn't exist. We did not have a wholesale agreement. And even if we had maximized the one that we had been in discussions about through the end of the last year, and we went from 0 to the highest level where they peaked and it would trigger a new thing, it would have only been $157,000. So I don't understand why when I have come and I've been completely transparent at every turn, and I have been shown to be reasonable and given all these explanations, and even you could have came and talked to me at any point during the month, and I've been telling the finance committee all these things since the beginning. Why you're saying, well, there's the $300,000 swing, and 200 was a make-believe number that should have never got approved in the first place.
Can I have a question? The issue before us is ordinance 560.
100%.
The ordinance 560 is 3 pages.
Correct.
The table.
Exactly.
On page 1, page 23 of the attachment, but the bottom of the first page of the ordinance happens to be the same numbers at the bottom. This is additional information.
Correct.
But we're not approving this.
We're not approving that. That is me giving you.
We're not approving this.
That's me giving you more information
We're just approving this, what you've seen before.
out of the interest of you all knowing the details of the city of which you've never understood before.
Make a point of order real quick that might expedite the discussion. From what I'm hearing, in terms of the budget ordinance that's presented tonight, the amendment, that the mayor is representing, it's not really coding in terms of how the funds are expended. It's how they're budgeted and allocated. That's required by BARS. The work that would be done by the particular position that would be affected under this budget amendment, what I understand the mayor is saying is that will not be drawn from, the work will not be done related to the enterprise funds, and therefore
For
the
this year,
funds will not be drawn from the enterprise funds.
we have to assess our ERP. It's broken. And if we don't, it's either broken or we don't understand how to use it correctly.
what's ERP?
That's our Springbrook, is our enterprise resource platform. And so I know that you're saying, well, I wanna give it, we've already been paralyzed for a couple months.
Can I call a motion?
Yes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 560 as presented, these 3 pages.
I'll second.
It refers to the calendar year of 2023.
If you guys have to run shorts down because of the Scribner's error.
But I thought you were gonna
You saw I fought for you. I'm giving it up at this point.
And then it's blank TH day of August, I thought, well, you know.
Minus
it
the
could be a
Scrivener's
E or
error.
T. So I appreciate that, so I said.
That also.
Minus the Scrivener's error amendment.
Yes.
Can we?
What the hell she's talking about? Where is it?
No, it's all.
And it said in the 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th, whereas paragraphs, it refers to 2023.
There it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth paragraph.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, very good. Good catch.
Fourth and fifth. Just for clarification, gotta make sure you have the right year.
Amend the motion.
Thank you. Any more discussion on the topic?
Well, the motion to approve the ordinance 560 with the two changes and the whereas to the current
I'll second.
2026.
All in favor?
Aye.
Andy, do you have a vote?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
So passes, thank you. All right, well, you guys all just approved that, the budget amendment that provides for me to sign the SAO agreement. So if we didn't have to take, I provided it in case we had to take it as a separate item. So moving on, treasurer report.
Did we get approval of the SAO engagement?
Well, it's embedded in let's just go ahead and codify it.
I'll make a motion to approve the SAO engagement.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aaron, would you like to give your
All right.
beautiful report?
So just to make sure that the SAO contract is accordingly approved, the SAO audit has started. It sounds like the federal single audit is pretty close. I was hoping that it was gonna be wrapped up by this meeting, but the document specialist at Welsh Comer has been on vacation all week. So there are documents that she has scanned and ready to go for WashDOT and all of the various other assurance engagements that we have. And otherwise I would be able to report that the federal single audit would be all done and squared away, but it's very, very close to being done. We are still looking forward to field work for the main engagement itself. We had the opening meeting with the SAO, with the members of the Finance Committee. So the audit season has officially kicked off. The first payment to the contractors for phase 2 has been issued, and we handed them a check earlier yesterday. And was that earlier today? Regardless, first check's out the door. When Lena's back in town, I'll be coordinating with her for the very first TIB reimbursement for our activities performed thus far. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
I
Thank you
just-
so much, Aaron. Any
I-
questions?
Yeah, I just have one comment. So for the final result, I think we should probably plan on a special meeting. And so we just plan on that.
Absolutely,
Is
for
that right?
exit,
Yeah,
For what?
for the audit results.
Oh,
when it comes up. We don't know if it'll, yeah.
We don't know.
yes, okay.
But, yeah,
I think that's a really good idea.
okay.
We'll make note of that. All right, Bridget.
All right, so the last few weeks have been a lot of backflow tests and communicating with citizens and neighbors, coordinating when they're getting things scheduled. So final notices were sent out yesterday by the lovely Matt, notifying property owners that have not submitted their backflow test reports to contact the city hall with their scheduled test date by August 18th to avoid disconnect. I have been busy updating the website weekly with the FDR project newsletters, along with compiling records for 2 different records requests with Savannah. For code enforcement, we have received a complaint on North Hutchinson for a litter and junk issue in the front yard and backyard being compiled. And so due to it being a reoccurring complaint, we'll be moving forward with most likely a warning notice. And then I received an update today on the 2 overgrown property complaints. The noxious weed board went out and confirmed they both contain noxious weeds. They'll be following up separately from us with those owners, with educational on how to remove them safely. So an application was received the other month for a nomination to the Historic Register for the Woodard House on 9212 East Frederick. Historic Preservation yesterday decided on holding a public hearing on September 14th at 2 o'clock for the nomination. So I have been busy getting that compiled. And then for Millwood Days, Historic Preservation has coordinated that they will be manning the city tent to promote the city centennial year coming up with a special guest of Mayor Beasy. So that concludes my report.
Wonderful. Kyle.
Argonne project updates. As you saw, we're pretty much wrapped up with the northbound lanes. All the electrical on that side of the project's in, all the ped ramps report, sidewalks report, pavement's done, CTB is obviously done underneath. First thing, 3 a.m. Monday morning, they did all the traffic control switch over. They started demoing out sidewalks, ped ramps on the west side. And then obviously today, I'm sure everybody's noticed it by now, they ground out all the old asphalt, hauled that off. Tomorrow the electrical guys will be back in. They got a couple of pull boxes and stuff to sit on the west side, mainly to continue the fiber optic up and do the pedestrian hybrid beacon. Friday, they're gonna bring the pulverizer back in, which basically takes what you see out there now after they remove the asphalt, and it tills up another 8 inches of it. They'll till that up, grade it out, and then I believe Tuesday, they will be back out to introduce the concrete treated base to that stuff that's been churned up. They'll water it in, grade it, compact it, and then fine grade it and compact it again. Within 48 hours, we gotta do what they call the micro crack on it. That's what we ended up doing on a Sunday morning last time. Got stuff scheduled out a little bit better this time to where it'll happen during the week. So they'll do the micro crack on it, then we start our 7-day cure on that. During that 7-day cure, they're gonna be pouring back ADA ramps and curbing and stuff on the west side. And once that cure is done, we'll go ahead and start the paving process, bring all the utilities back up, start the paving process, and keep plugging along. But we're looking good budget-wise and timeline-wise, so. In other news, we got the sonotube poured down at the Millwood Mart for our new permanent radar speed sign. We're just waiting for that to cure so we can assemble that whole new sign. With the assistance of Welsh Comer, we got the TIB funding application turned in for the potential chip seals on Liberty from Argonne to Vista and Marguerite from South Riverway to Grace that we talked about. That's in the 6-year plan. And just another little added tidbit, I was doing some pro bono, is that what it's called, or just free work on my weekends for the contractor, just because I'm that nice. And it's paid off. It didn't pay off for me personally, it paid off for the city.
It did.
They had to have a little grinder out here to do some work up here at the Grace-Sargon intersection. It was like a half day's worth of work, and I'm like, what are you guys doing with that afterwards? Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but 3 or 4 years ago, the southbound lanes, the asphalt was all wadded up against the concrete of the bridge and created a horrendous bump. I'd have inland come out, saw cut it, dig it out and re-pour it. Well, the northbound lanes were getting bad, but not quite as bad. But we'd still gotten complaints from residents and people that passed through. And I saw an opportunity, so I jumped on it and went down there with them, and I swept and shoveled off and hauled off all the grindings, but it ended up being probably about a $10,000 job if I would have had to call somebody, mob out, traffic control, do the whole song and dance. And we got charged $0 for it because of the good relationship we got with
Well,
this
school
company.
of you.
Good job.
Somebody just got a Spirit of Millwood Award tomorrow.
All the flame, come on.
You got 3
I was
pins.
worried because I haven't seen that invoice.
No.
Yeah, I think that's most of the stuff.
And I noticed the traffic channeling, south of Oregon is much better than it was before. And I every time I thought everybody's in one lane, I didn't understand that was there before, but I know it wasn't your choice.
Right.
No, but this time it's much better, so you can still turn left and everybody else needs to go straight, rather than having everybody in one lane.
Yeah. And
That's much better.
And I've heard from, I know Sean has heard, I've heard from people when I walk into Montgomery Hardware, for instance, one of the cashiers there, she's like, I travel that every day. And this project this year has been light years better than the congestion and waiting they had to wait in last year's traffic controls. That's definitely good to hear.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Good job.
Yeah, like you get the phone calls. Poor Bridget gets the phone calls. But they've been good, there's been good feedback too.
Kyle, do we have all the parts on hand to finish the signaling and everything? Are we waiting on anything along these?
No, it'll be kinda like this one was, there's huge back orders on the poles and some of that signalization stuff, unfortunately. But it's gonna be, they're doing it the same way they did this one, where they're pouring the bases, they're putting the bolts in, anchor bolts and everything in to where, doesn't matter if it's January or February, when those things come in, it's a simple, go out there, bolt them up, do some programming and stuff. So it should be good. Apparently there is back orders on the fiber optic and stuff too, because of all the data center craze that's pulling
Just
precedence on
supply
that
chain
stuff.
nowadays.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Matt, you're up.
Okay, all the water samples came back good again last month. We took nitrate samples at New Park, and those were all good. Next week, we'll be taking nitrate samples at both Old Park and Butler. And last month, we had a sanitary survey with the Department of Health. That's every 3 to 5 years. And we actually haven't had one since 2020 because of COVID, they're kind of backed up. And during the survey, it's kind of like an audit of, they look at our wells, the water tower, everything that we got going on. This was the first one I've been through. And I'm happy to say, he said everything looked great and keep up the good work. You know, we had 2 minor fixes on the outlet pipes. We had to put screens on those, but besides that, everything looked good. We discovered a water leak in the Trenton Dales parking lot, so we'll be out tomorrow morning digging that up and fixing that. And then the ATS controller for boosters should be in at the end of the month. When that arrives, Pacific Power will be out and put that in. And then been busy with Bridget doing the backflow and notifying people. And in sewer, we did a couple inspections on new services and everything else is good.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions? Perfect. Brian, did you have anything?
Not further this evening, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna end on a high note. Look what the kids did for the construction. So tomorrow Brad and I are gonna go and give these all to the construction people. And I wanna read what they included. Dear construction workers, here are some of the things that our preschoolers wanted you to know. That I love them and Jesus loves them. Big trucks, boy, I want one. We made you something, thank you for the road. I love them. I wanna help you. I like the trucks. I like following the trucks. You're doing a good job, thank you. And I would extend that also to our own first responders who, Kyle especially, who's done a great job in getting this construction project to the end, so.
Thank you for calling on there, that was directly, I think, directed at me.
I felt like it was 100. I felt like the one for you was that, I love them.
No, it was the one you missed, you didn't say it.
Oh yeah, I did. What did I say? Oh, you guys are fun? Oh, you're super cute.
Had to be clown.
Could have been that.
So the FDR change orders were 29,000 this last month. So I provided you a copy, but I did go ahead and sign them so that we can move forward with the project. And now we are at the public remarks section, good sir.
All right.
Get on up there.
Okay. I tried to sit out for more than 15 minutes. My back is a little stiff, so I'll get her going here. Okay, so my name is Mike Kaiser. I live at 9306 Upper River Drive. So I don't know if I'm actually in Millwood, maybe on the outskirts.
Okay.
But here last week, my wife and I, we entered North Cement Drive. And if you guys don't know where North Cement is, it's right there where Pines intersects with Trent. You know, it's kind of the extension of Pines, but I don't know, they call it North Cement Road. Anyway, so I went from North Cement Road to, I guess it would be East Euclid. And, you know, I'm driving down East Euclid. I've been down that road many times, but not recently. And my wife and I were having a conversation in the car, and then all of a sudden, you know, out of nowhere, I hit these ginormous freaking mountains of, it wasn't a speed bump. These things were freaking mountainous, and it was like trenched out in the middle, and then there was another one right afterwards. Sent both of us, I mean, practically out of the vehicle, you know. And I've got back issues, but that's not your problem. But I don't understand what was the reasoning for that? Were you guys in charge of that project? Who put that thing together? It just seems like it's put there to hurt, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, you want people to slow down. I understand that, but it just seems a little overkill to me. And that's why I came. You know, I just didn't understand it. You want to ruin people's cars? Do you want to injure them? I mean, bodily injury. You know, I mean, somebody could get killed. Seriously. I mean, that's just my thoughts. I'm no professor. I'm no, you know, anything like that. But I've just never experienced a bump like that before in my life. It scared the shit out of me. So anyway, that's all I got.
What was your name again?
Mike Kaiser.
Mike, thank you very much for your comments.
So what happens? You guys just listen to it when it gets done, or you tell me to pound sand? What do you do?
I'll let her.
It's the opportunity for public comments. It's not an interaction or back and forth with the council or, I think typically the city, if there's follow-up issues, they would follow up with someone or direct them to appropriate staff.
Well, thank you for your time.
As a general parameter, if an email comes to me, I respond within 48 hours. If I hear comments that are unresponded to, I will usually address things in the newsletter the next month. But we do hear the comments. We actually have another public comment, no joke, came in via email. Kickboxing was, I have to read it, but kickboxing was never the truth of it. I'm sorry, kickboxing never happened. Show me that this is real. That was a public comment that came in through our line, so now read.
From Civics Plus.
Correct.
I've also been receiving spam.
As vetted through, well,
Yeah.
I was given it to me
Yeah,
by
I
the
know.
attorney, so I felt
Yeah.
like I should go ahead and read it, but thank you, Sean. Council remarks.
I have a public comment.
Oh, please, come on up.
Todd Beeson, 8610 East South Riverway. Mayor, council people, and staff. The Millwood Farmers Market is tomorrow, and hope to see you there. And on the 19th, the Millwood Farmers Market will be there, and they will also be handing out free decorating supplies for the kids' parade and bike parade for the Millwood Days on the 22nd. So hope to see everybody at Millwood Days, and if you're going to be in the parade, you can get free decorating supplies a week from tomorrow at the farmers market. And this is from the Millwood Grocery and Spirit, free ices to all first responders. So if you're a first responder, you can get free icy at the grocery store, and our thoughts and go out to all the people in the fires and everything. It's terrible. Another, let's see, the free ICs, Stockwell's is giving free cheeseburgers to first responders. So first responders, if you go to Stockwell's, you can get a free cheeseburger. They have already delivered to the first responder camp 150 cheeseburgers, and tomorrow they'll deliver another 50 free cheeseburgers. So people are chipping in to try to make things easier for everybody involved. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I apologize, any other public comments? All right, going once, going twice. I do want to echo thanks to all the first responders, and then also just throw it out there about the fire going on and such. Council comments. Kelly.
So thank you, staff. I think everyone has lots on their plate. Audit, backflow, Argonne, thanks everyone. Mayor, attorney. So thanks. Have a great rest of the month.
Thank you. Dan
So I went
Sanders.
to the fairgrounds today, and it was amazing just coming over the Havana Bridge. Even before you got to the fairgrounds, all the extra fire trucks and other big equipment there. You get over towards the fairgrounds, and they have, the tents everywhere, and they even had 2 National Guard guys sitting in front of the administration building. We're not quite what they were protecting there, but I guess they were more issuing directions, because there's some are going into the buildings and some going somewhere else. I guess the direction is the givers, but it was amazing. It was good to see. I mean, it's not good to have, but to have that response, and the fact that the county stepped up to really open everything up for them. And that was good to see. So other than that, thanks for the staff for another good month.
Absolutely, thank you, Dan. Andy Van Hees.
Well, if you can hear me, just thank you, everybody, for everything you do. And hopefully I'll be with you next month.
Yay, well, safe travels back. Sean.
I'll echo Kelly's comments. Thanks to staff and everybody. It's usually summers are slow. It is not slow with the projects going on, the audit. And fall does not look like it's gonna slow down at all.
It's not been slow.
So keep up the good work.
Tina.
Thank you to all staff, fellow council members, mayor, lawyer, council.
Thanks, you too, Tina. All right, well, our next meeting date is a special meeting. It's gonna be the public hearing for the data center moratorium on August 25th, 2026 at 6 p.m. That will be limited only to discussion. We'll have a public hearing. Amanda will be giving us a presentation, and we will be talking about that. All right,
Well, the council could take action on the work.
could take action.
Yeah. So that.
But I mean, I'm saying that we won't be talking about anything
Oh.
other than the moratorium, because you've driven it
Correct.
home to me.
Correct.
Shauna, in special meetings, you
Yeah.
need to keep it on the.
You said only discussion though, that's up to you. That's
Oh,
gonna be your
yeah, you
determination.
guys can take action, but I meant, we're not gonna talk about,
Will that be a joint meeting with planning commission or?
nope, it's a council meeting,
Council?
because right now it's in, you guys took the moratorium. It's your project. You will have to, if you want it to be something that's deferred to planning commission, you will have to actually take positive action to refer it to planning commission.
And it's the 26th.
25th.
Tuesday?
Yeah, and what day is?
It's Tuesday.
I think it's just,
Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
2 weeks from tonight, right?
yeah, I believe it is 2 weeks from tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Can the planning commission meet?
Oh, anyone can,
But that would be a special meeting for the planning commission, if more than.
yeah, if more people come, then yes, I guess that's a good, if you think that planning commission, more than a quorum is gonna be there, if you could let us know, but it is already declared as a special meeting. So, but does it need,
Council.
so then it would be, yeah,
But does it need a special meeting for the planning commission?
Yes.
yeah, it would be,
Take a head count at planning.
yeah,
Or it's before.
yeah, could you, we'll need to get that
Well,
out.
they wouldn't be asked to take any action.
Yeah,
So I would.
There won't
and
even
that
be
in-
sitting at the table. If there's a quorum of them in the audience, this is a council mayor meeting.
Can a quorum meet, and can they show up the same place at the same time?
They can, they're just not taking an action on
Not
the
at
application.
table.
And they're not gonna be able to participate in the conversation any more than a citizen would be able
I
to
just
do
wanna make
the.
sure that
No, that was a great, we had to deliberate to determine the answer. Perfect. All right, well, I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.